Good evening, people, pets. It's your madman. I'm going to start this video. Hope everybody's well, by the way. I'm going to start this video with an apology for two reasons. One, I owe an apology to a few people and a few thank yous, and also apparently you have to get so far out of the way on a video before you use certain words or terminology so as not to upset the great YouTube gods that be. So, apologies must go to Tracy Coots and Maureen Oglesby. Tracy Coots for a lot of things over a period of time, and Maureen Oglesby for me shouting her out on my video this morning. Without Tracy Coots, my flat wouldn't be where it is. I wouldn't be here in this flat directly because Tracy Coots did all the hard work. Maureen did nothing other than maybe have a conscience. Hopefully I'll be able to speak to her and revisit things. She's a older lady who is a friend of Tracy's, or was a friend of mine. There's also apologies and thanks to my FIB. FIB stands for Fuck It Buddy because it's our favourite terminology. My support worker. I need to apologise to Joanne Worcester if she gets to hear about this, because I called her out this morning and she had literally hasn't been in touch with me for a couple of months, so she had no idea what was going on. I hadn't told her of what had happened. Thanks to a few lads, ironically, nobody near, but a few lads on social medias to follow me on here as well. Thank you to them for supporting me and backing me up in the ordeal that I'm about to explain. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen the thing and got the memo. Back in March, at the end of March, it was alleged that I had raped some woman. Two things come out of it. One, I didn't, and two, I couldn't have, because I'd been on a coke bender and an alcohol bender for the best part of a week, 10 days at that point. And if any fellas out there will be honest with you that take coke on a heavy basis, the marching powder stops you marching. You end up with nothing to do the job consensually or non-consensually, as was the case. But there was nothing in the allegation. However, I was bailed whilst I did an investigation, and to be honest with you, even though I know I'd done nothing, I was scared shitless, because the person who accused me, I won't name her, but, and I'm not maligning anybody who's in a bad position or being disrespectful, but she told me she's on a heavy duty antidepressant, heavy duty antipsychotic. She takes 3 gabs like Smarties, smokes dope and drinks vodka like it's water. So she always looks like that episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns is floating like a alien. She always walks like that. And I know for a fact because she goes past my flat and stares up at my window, and has done since the date that I was accused. And I was scared, because if it had come to a court decision, it would have been a he said versus she said bullshit scenario. I know full well from the look of her and the look of me with my tattoos and my piercings and my attitude towards certain things that's happening socially and economically and environmentally around the world, especially in the UK at the moment. I know if it had come to an he said she said bullshit scenario, they would have riled me. They tried riling me in my interview, asking certain stupid questions. I would have lost the plot, and therefore, obviously, I would have been guilty as charged. And people might think I'm being over dramatic, but that is how it works. You look a certain way. You know, you ask all the people from the BAME who get stopped and checked more than white Brits. They'll tell you it's because of the way they look, their skin colour. I would have been the same. But this is where this becomes a serious topic. Now, what this person has done by accusing me of that allegation, what this person has done has actually, or will or could potentially, so we say, impact upon other women who do get assaulted, who do get attacked. And if there's very little evidence, even, you know, if it is an assault, but there's not sufficient evidence, then the police and the CPS are now going to have a little more niggle of a doubt in the back of their mind. And that is when people come out and start abusing the police and the CPS and so on and so forth, and the judiciary. In my case, there was no evidence because it didn't happen. But there are cases where the evidence is very, very little. And now, if that's the case, the police are going to be very wary. So she's done women in general a disservice, which I totally disagree with. I'm going to see if there's anything I can or cannot do about it when I go in to collect my belongings. But she has put the next woman who is in a dangerous situation. Not that this person was, but she has put the next person into difficult, because without 100% solid evidence, they're not going to look at it now, because this person will have messed that up. Also, there was a story break last year sometime. A guy from Grimsby called Mick Philpott, I think his name was, did 15 years for a rape that he didn't commit, that he swore adamantly on that he didn't commit, and it was only after 15 years, with the improvement of forensics and whatever, that he was found to be not guilty. And he spent 15 years behind bars. Now, one of the ironic things for that is he got compo, but at the end of the day, they wanted to take some money back off him for his lodgings at Her Majesty's, as it was. Her Majesty's service. Her Majesty's pleasure, sorry. And they wanted to take some of his compo off him. I don't know what happened with that story. I don't know how it panned out. I didn't get remanded. I got put on bail. Only conditions was to not approach the person who made the allegation, and also not to go onto the little housing bit where she lives. I had no intention of doing either, even though, like I said, she used to stand outside my flat and stare up at my window, because I always sit by my window. Anybody that knows me knows that. But the allegations didn't just come with that and the bail conditions. My name was graffitied on a wall down Freeman Street. Freeman Street being a drinking area that I used to frequent. My name was graffitied as Sando is a rapist. I saw it, and before I started thinking too much of it, I went into the pub. So this was like within a couple of weeks of the allegation, and I felt, thinking back, everybody was staring at me. So I stopped drinking down Freeman. I haven't drank down Freeman properly. I've gone into one pub on a karaoke day, because I know it's one pub that people don't believe the hype. But I've not drunk down there. And I have no intention of going back now, even though I could go back and, like I did on my video this morning, gloat and boast that the charges have been dropped against me. But that shit sticks. Which is, you know, why certain people probably did turn their back on me, because all you got to do is hear it a few times, and it's like, oh, you know what? Sort of thing. So by accusing me of that, she's made it difficult for women to be seen, to be believed, to be heard. But also that shit sticks. I presume, you know, there'll be a file somewhere with my name on as an alleged rapist. Not that I'm getting back into long-term, serious, long-time relationships or anything stupid like that. I haven't got the energy for a start. Hopefully I'll get a bit of energy back now. I've spent all day. Today you would have thought I'd have been happy and out celebrating, but no. I've actually spent most of the day throwing up. The emotional toll it's taken on my body. I didn't realise how much until I got the letter this morning saying the case the charge was dropped. And then my body just went into meltdown, into shock meltdown. Oh, fruit flies. To the point that it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm sat with a cup of green tea, of all things. That's still too hot to drink. But no. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to apologise to people, and I'm going to tell Tracy, if she sees this, that I won't be contacting her anymore. I just needed some support through this period of time. Fortunately, I had my FIB and I had my support worker that I got. My next step is to get my stuff to my back, which is my phone. So I'll probably be going back onto my old account because I had more subs. Although you can feel free to sub to this one if you see it, please. And I'll carry on doing bits and bobs on both. Get my flat tidied up, get myself tidied up. And then my landlords have said I can look for a dog in this flat, which will put a whole different slant on my life anyway. Because as it says on one of my letters from my support worker, by having a dog, it's that old Ricky Gervais thing, isn't it, from Afterlife, where he says to the dog, if you could open a tin of dog food, I wouldn't be here now. It's that, it gives you a whole different perspective and outlook on life. And there was the old Japanese guy back in COVID who was walking a dog in the pissing down rain, and somebody said on the video, it's probably before COVID, but I saw it in COVID, why don't nobody help him walk the dog? And I commented, that dog's probably the only reason that man gets out of bed in the morning. He looked like he was in his 80s. Animals over people. No offence to anybody that's thinking of subscribing, but if you get your dogs to subscribe, I'd be well happy. So it was an apology, and also a comment about what that person has done to or against me and against other women who might feel assaulted or might be assaulted, by somebody down the line, but will now look and probably go, oh shit, I can't put a thing in, can I? But yes, so hopefully less of the madman ranting, not so much of the fucking green tea drinking at this time of night, because my throat's sore from throwing up all day. But yeah, so let's just hope everything starts to fit back into place, and as soon as I get my doggo, I'll introduce him to the world of social media. So everybody, look, just take care. Look after yourselves. Look after your friends, your neighbours, your elders, your relatives. Look after the people around your table. Look after the people that are sat near and sat far. Just look after anybody in the street that needs it, and look after your sons. Stay safe, stay proud, stay loud. Peace.